If I had 30 days to have the greatest impact on somebody's quality of life, this is exactly what I would do with that person. What I'm going to cover today, before we even start with the actionable points, we have to touch on the mindset points. Because you may do this 30 days and you may fall back into old habits. Simply giving you the tactics is just not enough because you probably know the tactics. You're just not doing them for long enough to have an absolutely astonishing impact on your quality of life long term. So, mindset principles, actionable principles that have the greatest immediate ROI. So this video should attract the quick fixes amongst the YouTube cohort. And then summarising it and we send you on your merry way. Why am I qualified to talk about this? I coach men online that want to strengthen their joints and make their joints more resilient. I have worked with men with multiple different injuries and loads of different injuries, and yeah, I really enjoy improving men's quality of life. You can put it that way. Former Special Forces a support group operator and former paratrooper, trained a bunch of elite soldiers in my time in the army as well, and this is my service to the longevity program. Cool. Mindset principle number 1. Do it for a month. Have a great month. Do it every month. Have a great life. Not going to elaborate any more on that. Mindset principle number 2. Alignment with your future self. Ask yourself this question and write down the answer. Where do I want to be physically in 12 months' time? See you achieve that. What are the character traits that you needed to have in order to achieve that? How did you handle adversity to achieve that mission? And what did you do every single day to achieve that mission? Not many people go through this exercise, but very, very powerful way of just creating alignment in the chaos of life. Very important exercise to do, which lays the foundation for your personal standards. Without personal standards, you will never achieve anything physically in your life. This is the foundation builder of personal standards. Okay, mindset is very important for sustaining your results for a long period of time. You probably know loads of people that have went on fitness missions, whether it be a half marathon or whether it be a marathon or whether it be an Ironman or, summiting a mountain. All of these things they went into and they've brought in some new healthy habits into their life, but they've still thought like the old version of themselves. So when they finish that little mission, they gain all the fitness from that mission, but they always fall back to their former self because they never actually believed that they were, better. They didn't actually go through the process of actually building their own personal standards. Do you know what I mean? They just thought they were a creature, embedded some habits to that creature, and then they were a physically fit creature for a short period of time. And then as soon as that finished, back to full creature mode. That's why it happens, because people just don't have alignment and don't have clarity with what they need to think like, how they need to problem solve, and how they need to handle adversity to achieve the mission that they want to achieve, and the character traits as well. It all links in nicely. So I'm going to get through the actionable points now that have the most impact, right? And your current personal standards will decide your start point. For example, if you've been living like a sloth since you can remember, you might be massively overwhelmed at the thought of doing all of these right away. And for you guys, then I just want you to don't do them all at once. Just maybe do one for the first week, then layer in a second, then layer in a third, then layer in a fourth. Do you know what I mean? So if you are doing none of these, doing all of these at the same time may be okay for some of you. However, for those of you that would be overwhelmed by that, don't think, oh my God, this guy's absolutely crazy. He wants me to do all of this stuff. Trust me. You do the most stuff, you get the most results. However, at the end of the day, It's just about getting you doing these things, because these are the biggest needle movers based on what my clients feel give them the most benefits in their first 30 days on my program. If you do want to join my program, there is a link in the description to book on a call with me. We'll have a conversation. I'll figure out more about your situation, and ultimately we'll figure out whether you're a good fit for the program. Let's get cracking. Actionable point number 1. Without 7 to 9 hours sleep per night, you are going to conduct yourself the next day like an absolute loser. If you're operating on 4, 5, 6 hours sleep, every time you get a break, you're going to be thinking about caffeine, you're going to be thinking about dopamine, chocolate, crisps, terrible foods all day. When you get the maximum amount of sleep, you've just got energy from the get-go. You feel 8, 9 out of 10 from the get-go in the morning, and you can absorb stress so much easier. When you've had barely any sleep, the tiniest thing will annoy you, like traffic, music, random, just the smells in the office. All of these things will get you really annoyed. However, sleep is literally the biggest instant ROI you can ever get into your life. And by going to bed earlier or making sure that you are trying to get more sleep, you're going to feel amazing the next day. Why would you not want to feel amazing tomorrow? It's the biggest quick fix you could ever have in your life. Actionable point number 2. Eat your maintenance calories. Do a calorie calculator. Put in your weight. Put in your body fat percentage. If you don't know how to do that, message the comments below. I'll sort you out, or message me on Instagram. It's at PaulGreenBJJ. Eat your maintenance calories with 80% whole foods that you enjoy. And then 20% whatever you want. Prep your meals in advance to save 5 hours per week cooking. That seems like a very, very simple thing to do. Not many people do it, and this is actual point number 2. It's going to make you feel amazing. Whole foods is going to give you nutrient-dense fuel that is going to sustain you for longer during the day. You're going to be able to problem solve. You're going to be able to have more energy. You're going to be able to recover better from training. And you're still ticking the emotional box with the 20% hormones. And obviously, time management gets a huge leap in the right direction as well. More time with the family. Actionable point number 3. Lift heavy weights 2 to 3 times per week. Following the same structure each week. Track your lifts. How many repetitions you do, how much weight you lift, and making sure that you are sticking to a sequence of exercises. If you change your exercises every session, you're not going to get stronger. If you change your rep ranges every exercise, you're not going to get stronger. If you change your weights randomly, have the intent to get stronger on the last week's performance. Hopefully this makes sense. Actual point number 4, walk 10,000 steps per day. Use this time to unwind mentally, think about the future, or learn. It'll take about just over an hour. You can even get the family involved in that as well. Action point number 5, conduct 20 minutes of cardio per day of your heart rate, 120 to 130 beats per minute. Cardiovascular training is so important. And the buzz that we get after we've done our cardiovascular training is just amazing, right? And it's important that we're ticking the heart and lungs box as well, right? Summary, right? These are genuinely the biggest needle movers to have the biggest impact on your quality of life. Simple but very effective. There's a misconception that if it's not exciting, if it's not stimulating, if it's not complex, that it's not effective. Do not get sucked into complex things that seem complicated, and you're like, ooh, I need to learn a little bit about this. I need to really focus in on learning each little nitty-gritty type of movement. No. I go back. What are the fittest people in the world doing? They're doing cardiovascular training on every day. What is the most healthiest people doing? They're always walking. They're just active. The strongest people in the world are lifting. The healthiest people in the world are eating mainly whole foods, organic if possible. And anybody with any sort of physical capability is getting the maximum amount of sleep possible. That's where we recover, regenerate, and grow our cells. And also all the psychological benefits the next day as well. Very straightforward video. However, sometimes men need a little bit of a reminder on just how simple things can be when you're doing the most impactful things possible. That's it from me. Hopefully you appreciate the video, and I will see you tomorrow.